Hello everyone. To defeat an enemy you must know them. That's why you must watch this video. Otherwise, how can you distinguish a harmless cellar spider from a deadly, dangerous monster? In today's video, we will tell you about the most venomous spiders on Earth. Hopefully you'll never encounter one. By the way, if you are afraid of spiders, then give us a like. We want to know how many of us tremble with fear at the sight of these creatures. Let's get it on. Six-eyed killer. Just look at this adorable little spider hiding in the sand. How can such a shy creature be dangerous? Well, the six-eyed sand spider doesn't like to be the center of attention. This predator lives in southern Africa and prefers to hide under the rocks or between the roots of trees. But apparently, this isn't enough for him, because he either sprinkles himself with sand, which adheres to the bristles on his body, or completely buries itself in it. Is he really that afraid of people? Believe us, the six-eyed sand spider is not afraid of anyone. He just prefers to operate quietly and discreetly, like a professional killer. According to toxicological studies, his venom is recognized as the most dangerous on record. Like sulfuric acid, it destroys the body cells and blood vessels, causing blood vessel leakage and tissue destruction. And the cherry on top is that there's no antidote for the venom of this spider. But there is also good news. This species is very shy. There are only 2 known cases of attacks on a person, and those are not even officially registered, so just don't bother this little guy. Cyclocosmia. An abdomen shaped like an antique stamp is something really special, even for a spider. When nature does something so sophisticated, you should expect some trouble. This stamp must be covered with some deadly ink. Most often, bizarre shapes don't conceal a threat, but this is an exceptional case. This spider, with the poetic name of Cyclocosmia, needs this particular chitin plate for protection, not for attacking. This spider lives in small burrows and hates uninvited guests. To protect himself from them, he uses this lid, strengthened by a system of ribs and grooves, reminiscent of an ancient stamp. By the way, there's something ancient about this animal. It's considered the oldest spider on Earth. Even though this beautiful creature can be aggressive, he doesn't pose an actual threat to humans. So why did we tell you about him? So that you could distinguish him from the next similar spider from our compilation, who is a real serial killer. The Sydney funnel web spider. Meet the Sydney funnel web spider. As you probably understand from the name, he lives in Australia. Well, obviously. His grim appearance is not just for protection either. This guy is actually evil and only wants to hurt you. Since the sand spider almost never attacks humans, it's the Sydney funnel web spider that the Guinness Book of World Records ranked as the most venomous spider in the world. He doesn't need a reason to attack, he'll just do it because he can. First, he'll stand on his hind legs and show off his fangs. They're so strong and long that they can even break through a nail. If you don't manage to somehow leave in time, he is gonna bite you one time, and then another time, and again. Yes, this bloodthirsty monster attacks more than once. Its venom is deadly, so you should get some medical help immediately. It is also possible that the spider will go to the hospital with you. He will attach to your body until you shake him off. We can only say one thing. Nature, just why? Brazilian wandering spider. This monster may well compete with its relative from Sydney. In 2010, he was also listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as one of the most venomous spiders in the world. This is the Brazilian wandering spider. The name itself doesn't promise anything good, right? Where does he wander? And what for? We've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that he doesn't attack first. The bad news is that he never really stays at home and likes to climb into houses, hide in closets, and among your belongings. He has no respect for privacy whatsoever, so if you found him sleeping in your shoebox and you disturb him, you will be punished with a bite. Besides people, this spider likes to eat bananas, so take a closer look when you buy some in the store. The poison causes loss of muscle control, followed by respiratory failure, which leads to paralysis and, in 85% of cases, to heart failure. However, there is an effective antidote, so the main thing is getting to the hospital on time. Brown recluse spider. This six-eyed creature is common in the east of the United States and feels great near human settlements. However, he's not easy to find, even though his legs are pretty large compared to his body. He's only 6 to 20 millimeters long, but you'd better try to find him right away. A supposedly painless bite from a brown recluse spider may go unnoticed, but the consequences will be extremely unpleasant. This spider is considered one of the most venomous members of its family. The enzymes that make up its poison cause tissue necrosis. It develops gradually, and if you don't seek help in time, the wound may reach 25 centimeters in diameter. In this case, healing takes up to 6 months, and if the subcutaneous tissue is affected, full recovery can take 3 years. If you live in the area where this spider lives and don't want to spend much time on sick leave, carefully check your clothes, shoes, and bedding. These are the most popular hiding places among these spiders. Wolf spider. We've seen a lot of terrifying monsters, but what about a wolf spider? Does he have huge fangs or likes howling at the moon at night? That would be a horrible thing to see, but you can relax, it's not that bad. This species got its name for its unusual way of life. Wolf spiders don't weave a spider web, but instead hunt in a peculiar way. They ambush their prey or chase it through the forest. Just like wolves, they can travel from one place to another in search of better food. These guys can be found all over the world except Antarctica, so the chances of them hunting you down are very high. However, there is no need to worry too much about it. The bites of most wolf spiders are not that dangerous, except for tropical species. Their venom can cause prolonged pain, swelling, dizziness, elevated heart rate, and nausea. In this case, go and see a doctor, unless you're caught by the whole pack. Gooty sapphire ornamental. Thanks to this video, we now know that appearances can be deceiving. Look at this stunning creature. It's a genuine work of art. How can anyone think that it's dangerous? Meanwhile, with his appearance, the Gooty sapphire ornamental is trying to convince you not to mess with him. If you have misinterpreted the meaning of the color of this brightest member of the tarantula family, then at least his size should alert you. The leg span of this spider reaches 16 or even 17 centimeters. Okay, we've heard enough to stay away from him, but he's also a skilled athlete. He's strong, fast, and jumps really high. Oh, and there's more. This spider has the most dangerous venom among all known tarantulas. The bite causes severe pain, muscle cramps, and prolonged weakness. Symptoms continue for 2 or 3 weeks, although they can suddenly recur over several months. So, it is better to admire this spider from afar. But you didn't plan to come close anyway, did you? Black widow spider. When you started watching this video, you were probably expecting to see the most famous venomous spider, right? Well, it's time to talk about the Latrodectus. That's the name of a genus of spiders commonly known as true widows. Let's start with the most famous and the most venomous one, the black widow. The menacing image of this predator is so well known that when you see a black spider with a red hourglass pattern on its back, you'll try to run away immediately. And you'll do the right thing. These little spiders have an unusually powerful venom, the neurotoxin of which causes latrodectism. For children and old people, it's deadly, but even an adult may not survive the consequences of a bite. In only half an hour, the victim starts experiencing incredibly severe pain in the limbs, which then reaches the muscles of the core, chest, and abdomen. Severe cramps, panic, and difficulty breathing follow the pain. The worst part is that there's no effective ways to relieve the symptoms, and they last for at least 12 hours. Brown widow. Unfortunately, the genus of the Latrodectus has another infamous member. For example, the brown widow, also known as the brown button spider, is the younger brother of the black widow. He is even smaller and luckily is not so dangerous to humans. The impact of the brown widow's toxin is usually limited to the bite area and surrounding tissues and doesn't extend to the whole body. However, this happens only because the button spider can't inject enough poison. Hopefully, evolution won't give him a hand. sand. Speaking of abilities, did you know that the Brown Widow is also a superhero, albeit less known than the Black Widow? In the animated show The Venture Brothers, the Brown Widow has the same powers as Marvel's Spider-Man, and it also lives in New York. In reality, the Latrodectus geometricus is found in South Africa, the USA, Southern Europe, and Japan. Scientists believe that he's forcing out his more dangerous black relative. This is obviously great, but it would be better if these guys left the Earth altogether, don't you think? Red Widow. However, even if this happens, we will still have to worry about the other members of the Latrodectus genus. Lurking in the shadow of his more famous relatives, there's a less studied but no less unpleasant spider, the Red Widow. In this case, nature has been nicer to us. You can only meet this creature in peninsular Florida, among the sand dunes dominated by sand pines. But who knows, maybe he will decide to expand his habitat. So far he's not shown such intentions, and he rarely comes into contact with people. There's not a single bite record of this spider registered in medical books. However, studies have shown that it is venomous, albeit 5 times less toxic than a brown widow, but it will still be enough to ruin your day. In addition, a character from the Marvel universe bears the name of this 8-legged animal, and they wouldn't name a superhero after some weakling, would they? Hey buddy, are you tired of watching videos about cute animals and heartwarming stories? You need something more serious in your life. Tough cars, cool robots, and the most unusual gadgets in the world. Get the high-tech adrenaline rush you need on TechSound. Subscribe now, we are waiting for you.